Hi everyone, this is State Representative Trom Nguyen, and I have exciting news to share. We just voted on the conference committee report for the state budget, and included in it is a bill that I filed along with my colleagues, Representative Haddad and Senator Montigny, an act to promote safety for victims of violent crime and human trafficking, which has broad bipartisan support. I am so grateful to the conference committee for including this bill, which exemplifies the values that we hold dear in Massachusetts and underscores the significant progress that we have made this session. This bill is about empowering our neighbors, building community, strengthening our public safety, and supporting survivors, things that we not only value, but have expressed through our words and actions during the pandemic in order to save lives. In my years as an attorney, I worked with many survivors of domestic violence as well as victims of crime, such as stalking and child abuse, among others. Escaping this type of violence is extremely difficult. It's even more so when the victim is an immigrant reliant on their abuser for their legal status in this country. This is how criminals get away with keeping their victims silent and compliant, by threatening them with deportation if they speak out or even try to protect themselves or report the abuse. This critical language in the bill is a simple yet effective fix that will encourage victims and witnesses to participate in the criminal legal system or process by creating a consistent certification process for vulnerable immigrant victims and witnesses of violent crimes and trafficking. As a result, this will greatly increase public safety because it will allow victims and witnesses to report crimes and cooperate with law enforcement, who can then better investigate crimes that will now be reported rather than remain in the shadows. Likewise, district attorneys and courts can better prosecute perpetrators once the victims and witnesses have the protections that they need to participate in the criminal process, pursue justice, and hold these perpetrators accountable. Many individual agencies and jurisdictions throughout the state already have processes in place for victims and witnesses to obtain law enforcement certifications. However, many other jurisdictions do not have policies in place or have not encountered these requests before. So if you're a victim in one jurisdiction that is familiar with this process, you could get a certification in a timely manner. But if you happen to be victimized in a jurisdiction that is not familiar with this or do not typically give out these certifications, you could wait for months, years even, or at all to even get these certifications. Victims of crime deserve a fair and consistent process. They need equal treatment, and this bill will accomplish just that, so that the certification process can be dependable and fair. So here's an example of someone this could help. There was a case of a mother who was at risk of being deported, and if that had happened, her son would have been given to the biological father who had physically and sexually abused the mother. They were fortunate enough to live in a jurisdiction that has a policy in place, and they were able to get that certification and then succeeded in obtaining a U visa. And now both the mother and son are living safe, healthy, and productive lives here in the Commonwealth. But this experience of obtaining a simple response to a certification request isn't universal. There are also individuals who do not receive a timely response or any response at all. One attorney shared that their client had been waiting for 6 years for certification. Justice delayed is justice denied. And so this is coming from an attorney friend of mine, but I've seen that as well in my work prior to getting into office. So this is why it's so important for us to change these rules. These new rules will benefit everyone because they create a cohesive policy throughout the Commonwealth to ensure that all agencies know when and how to issue certifications to victims and witnesses. A consistent policy will reduce inefficiencies and promote equal access to justice throughout the state. So I'm just so thankful to the speaker, to Chair Michaelwitz, and the Ways and Means Committees, and their staff, Leader Cronin, Chair Day, Chair Eldridge, and all of their staff. Additionally, I want to thank my partners in both the House and the Senate, Representative Haddad and Senator Montigny, and my colleagues and advocates who have been working so hard to get this bill through. I also want to especially thank my team for their incredible work day in and day out. This bill will improve the lives of our immigrant neighbors, coworkers, and friends. It will strengthen public safety for all, and it will help law enforcement to work together with victims and witnesses to hold perpetrators of violent crime and trafficking accountable. I could not be more proud of this work, of the work that this body has been doing to build a stronger, brighter, and more inclusive Commonwealth.